Well, hello there. This is the huggable, lovable, touchable, kissable, playable Big Bear StarCraft 2, actually bringing you guys another Adel versus Kalin game. Now, I really like the first game, and I really like that playstyle by Adel on Terminus. It was a little bit risky, and he should have gotten Colossus, but the concept was sound. He really wanted to bring the Terran player into the late game, and it was really more of a responsive play than anything else because he did know that the Terran player was going to fast expand, so he said, you know what, I'll fast expand, and I'll just expand again, and I'll expand again. Now, while it did not actually work for him, because he did not get the Colossus tech that I think he should have gotten, it was still a very smart play, and I'm kind of interested to see how he adapts this heavy macro style play on a map like Zelnaga Caverns, where every single expansion is kind of hard to get. Like, you know, you can get a really fast natural. I mean, it's not impossible to hold this off, but I mean, once you get that, it's hard to get your third, it's hard to get your fourth, because they're really open, and once you do in fact grab your third, either at this gold here, or at this mineral patch here, I mean, really, it's really prone to drop play, because here you have this huge amount of area here for drops, and you have all of this back area here for drops, and so, I mean, you see a lot of Protosses grab this third, and then slowly expand here, but we'll kind of see what Adel does. I wanted to cast this game because I did want to see what Adel did, because he is an extremely good player. Kalin actually opting to wall off. This is really the preference of the Terran player on whether or not he does choose to wall off. If you wall off like this, it does in fact prevent the Protoss player from early scouting if you can get this supply depot down before the Protoss player does in fact decide to send out a scout. And Adel actually opting to send out no scout at all, so that means one of two things. He is either going to be opting for some sort of early cheese, or he just already knows what he's going to do, and he's going to fast expand no matter what the Terran player does, and it doesn't really matter what the Terran player does, because if you have a strategy, you are going to do absolutely no matter what he does. He could go liquid TLO 6 gate all in, and you would still go 1 gateway fast expand, then do it. Don't even waste your time scouting, because you can keep that probe. But I mean, for the newer players, I kind of recommend scouting, because it's kind of hard to know all of the timings and know when to build units to in fact hold off. Now, I do have a special announcement for the people still in this game at the whopping and exciting 3-minute and 20-second mark. I actually am going to be doing kind of a new series, and I'm going to try to find a newer caster and support that newer caster, because I mean, I only do have 90 subscribers, but I feel like I'm starting to barely get those fans that are kind of dedicated and a little bit interested legitimately in the games I am in fact casting. So I was thinking, you know, why not take people that I want to support and view them? Because, you know, it's one thing for me to say these big time casters aren't supporting the little time casters, which is true. You see a lot of Husky and a lot of HD, but no Joshi or Diggity. I mean, even those guys are still pretty big, or like Star Force, they don't ever support each other, or they don't ever support their own selves. You can see that the Terran player is going to be gearing up for a relatively fast expo, and I think he's going to keep it hidden, or maybe he's just looking for some sort of hidden pylon play. I don't really know what he is doing with that Marine. All I know is that that Marine is dancing because the command center is in fact built inside of his base. But anyways, so this tonight at around 11 o'clock I will be posting and casting a game with a new player. His name is Version, and I think his StarCraft 2 channel is But With Girl. And I mean, I'm just really going to try to cast newer casters and show them support, show them love, because who knows? I mean, maybe they'll become really popular and then they'll remember the favor and support me someday. Or, I mean, or not, and I'll just have shown a caster support, because anyone who is willing to cast is in fact a cool person in my book, because it is hard to cast, it is hard to talk, and it is extremely nerve-wracking in fact to be talking and knowing that people really kind of just look at your videos and judge you against the best of the best. Like, for example, Husky and HD and Day 9, you know, some of the best casters in the world. Let's not forget Psy, and I mean, like, all of the other casters that I have ever mentioned before are all extremely good casters, and it's kind of scary to, you know, cast in front of an audience that, you know, is used to listening to such high quality play. And so, I mean, I'm thinking, you know, if Version can in fact stand the pressure, or, you know, just like cast games and actually show a legitimate interest, and I feel like it is only fair for me to show an interest right back to Version. And so I said I was more than happy to co-cast, and I think that he is an extremely good caster. He has a really good voice for it, so I think you guys will like him. We'll see though. I mean, obviously if you guys hate him, which I highly doubt. Actually, you know what? Let's not even go there because you guys will not hate him. He is actually an extremely good caster, and he's extremely solid. The only fear I have is that you guys will probably like him more than me. We'll see. I mean, you guys, of course, just let me know in the feedback in a personal message, please, not actually on my channel, because I don't want to start any flame wars that are unnecessarily. Now back to the game. After we're starting to get into the macro style of play, this is kind of where the game starts picking up a little bit. You know, where you actually have to start casting on the game, and you can see that the Terran player is going to be opting for a massive Marine tank build. The advantages of a Terran player going Marine and tank build is that the tanks can in fact siege up, and they cannot be force field like every single other unit in the game, basically, except for the massive units, but that is regardless. I've always had this question though, because massive units like the Ultralisk and the Colossus can in fact crush force fields. So does that mean that Archons can crush force fields too? You can see he's going to move out with a single tank and a whole bunch of Marines, and this is going to be a relatively safe time for him to grab his expansion. Adel has already grabbed up an expansion though. He's expanded a long time ago, and so he's going to have a slight income lead, and not a general income, but in the fact that he will have income of overall minerals. And I think that this guy is an extremely strong player. I mean, Kalin is a very solid player, as well as Adel. And Adel, we'll see what he does, because before, you remember, he grabbed his expansion, his third expansion, around 9 minutes, but I do not think that'll be the case on a small map like Zelnaga Caverns. Here comes the first push, and I think it'll be timed up with Siege Tank being finished, a lot of SCVs being pulled off the line, so this is not all in, but is semi all in. And if he doesn't make a huge push attack and really hurt the Protoss player with this push, he will in fact lose. And here he's going to come. Is he going to siege up his tank? Is he going to off to siege up his tank? A lot of forces are going to go down, and he's going to lose a lot of units. The siege tanks finally do go up, and there's going to be a big push. 2 sentries almost getting knocked out, and look at that. Siege tanks do in fact 2-shot sentries, a little known fact, and that is extremely hard to deal with. So now here comes a slow push. He's actually going to destroy the rocks. No, he's actually going to decide to push in here, and we shall see if this is in fact a good idea. Guardian shields going up, 4 SCVs going down, and he really just needs to hold off this push to opt for more and more units. And all he needs to do is stay out of range of the siege tank. A third siege tank actually coming in. The mules will be compensating, and here comes the final push. I think he's going to push in here. Push up the Guardian shield. Is going to be having to focus down the tanks. That would be a really good idea, and he's going to come down, but there's a lot of Marines, a lot of SCVs. No SCVs actually do remain in this army, so there are no SCVs. SCV love song does not anymore remain. If you do not know what I'm talking about, go to Husky HD channel. And now here comes the dance of death, where the Marines will awkwardly try to push up and take out this pylon, while the Protoss player will try to deny it without actually getting hit by this siege tank. The siege tank is unsieged, so now is the time to push up. If there is the time to push up, now it is the time. There is no stem on these Marines, so this is a stemless push, and I think that this push is throttled, and I think with that you will see that unique Kalin will in fact leave the game. That was very good defense by Adel. I really like that. He's actually staying in the game because he wants to make sure that every single Marine feels the pain of dying when you do in fact lose to an all-in. This is Big Bear StarCraft, hoping you guys have a pleasant today and a wonderful tomorrow. I also hope that you guys are hyped for the game with version tonight that I will be co-casting. I'll try to find, newer casters and cast one every weekish. We'll see what I kind of decide. Maybe I'll also try to cast, games with bigger names like Ask Joshi and Diggity and stuff like that, depending on if they have the time and if they choose to reply to me. I do not know, and so we'll kind of see what the future of CoCast Week holds. I'll try to cast a game with another person at least once a week, but we'll see what happens. This is Big Bear StarCraft 2, signing out.